Everybody, welcome back to another episode, and today we are going to be canning sauerkraut. So I'm going to show you, I've already shredded the sauerkraut. Show you what it looks like. I have a whole bowl of it, like this, all shredded, and I'm only doing 6 pint jars. The rest of that sauerkraut is going to be done by hand by me in just a few minutes, and I will show you guys that as well. But this way we're going to can it, and the way I'm doing it today is the old-fashioned way, and you can it for 20 minutes in your water bath canner after adding some sugar, some salt, and some vinegar, and then you let it sit for 4 weeks. Okay, it won't be ready for 4 weeks. You keep it on your shelf, it's shelf stable, and then you can do whatever. It stays on your shelf. When you want to use it, you can put it in your refrigerator. But this is the way we're going to do this. So I have my water bath canner going. It's heating up. And right now, I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. And this is, make sure, natural sea salt. All right. Per jar. Okay. And I like to do it this way. So I live at the beach where there's a lot of moisture. A little bit more salt is fine. It's not going to hurt it. Okay. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Oops, putting a little bit too much in there and get a little bit, like I said, a little bit too much salt is not going to hurt it. Okay, and then this one, let's open it a little bit more. Okay, you guys can see that. All right, I'm going to go back here and put the salt away. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of sugar in each jar. Now you can do these in quart jars as well. I am one of the only people in my house, that's a little bit more sugar, that like sauerkraut, except maybe the fresh sauerkraut. I think everybody likes the fresh sauerkraut. We use this on hot dogs, we use this on chili dogs, and bratwurst. It's really, really good. Okay, so there's our 6 jars of the sugar. Let me get that out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to put 6 teaspoons of vinegar, it's white vinegar, in each jar. Go. Now, this is the same for quart jars. In your pint jars, it's going to be a little bit stronger, a little bit tangier, which is how I like it. And you can even add a little bit more vinegar if you want to. So that's all we're going to do with that one. And then I have my hot water. So I'm going to very slowly pour this in here. Now I filled my jars below, you can see, all of the cabbage is below this ring. So you want an inch of headspace right here, okay? This is bottled water. I don't use tap water ever. You can use filtered water, any kind of filtered water, but you don't want the hard water deposits from your tap in your jars. So if I have enough water, oh, barely enough water. Okay, let me heat some more water up real quick. Almost made it. I'm doing this in the microwave, and while we're waiting for these, I'm going to use my little spatula. If I can find it. Okay, so that's one. Let's see. So we're going to debubble this. You guys can see. Get all the bubbles out of it. Go down the sides of the jars. Now, as this heats, this is going to be. You might be able to add a little bit more cabbage to your jars, but again, don't go above an inch headspace. Okay, so we're going to do this for each one of our jars. And I'll try to go all the way down because there's going to be lots of room and lots of bubbles in your jars. So try to go all the way down as far as you can and push it down in each jar. This one has a little bit too much water maybe, but let's see. Yeah, I think I have too much water in this one. This one might have to be dumped just a little bit. Unless I could put a little bit more cabbage in here. That might work too. This one, while I'm waiting for my other water to come to a boil, I have my lids already done. Lids are washed, seals are washed. Now this one has way less in there. I can put some more in there. Okay, I hear that my water is done. Sorry for my arm. See. Can you see getting all of the bubbles out of the jars? I'm trying to show you that. And I try to go all the way to the bottom and loosen all of that cabbage. And as it sits here in the hot water, it gets looser. Okay, you want all of the cabbage covered with the water. Okay, that is your main thing. You don't want any of the cabbage going above that 1 inch headspace. So, I may not add any cabbage to these jars. Maybe just this. We'll see. All right. The rest of them are well below. And since I'm making 6 jars, plus some sauerkraut that's going to be good right away. Again, these have to ferment, and they're going to just ferment in the jar after you water bath them for 20 minutes. And you can do this in a water bath because of the acid from the vinegar. So this is how the old time people did it. The Amish still do it this way. A lot of people still do it this way, and a lot of people still ferment. And I do as well. I ferment also. So let's add a little bit more water in here. Okay. You guys can see that. There we go. Okay, put this down here so you can see all of this. Get it all mixed up. Get all the water bubbles out of here. And as you're doing this, the vinegar gets mixed in, the sugar and the salt get mixed in, and it has a really awesome flavor to it. See, that one can use some more too. You want this packed in here because the cabbage does disintegrate as it ferments, and it gets a little bit smaller in there. So you're going to have a lot more room when this is all done. I hate having to put my arm in front of here, but I kind of set up the camera the wrong way. Okay, so maybe I can add just a little bit of cabbage to a couple of these jars. Like that one. Just a little bit. We'll put it in there. A little bit to this one. Because then we're going to do instant sauerkraut, which is really fun because you can taste it right away. Let's get the spatula back up here. Yeah, these are going to be roomy and have room to bubble because they're going to bubble on your shelf. That even needs more. More in here. Just like that. And see, you're going to get more room as this heats up. There's lots more room in here now than there was a few minutes ago. So I'm doing 6 pints. I did buy 3 cabbage heads. And I'm going to be doing, I think, a dinner with stuffed cabbage rolls coming up that I love. My mom used to make that all the time, and I'm the only one in our family that still does that, so I probably will make that tomorrow. I just did a Costco run a little bit ago. It will be the last time I'm going out for another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. If we need anything else, I think the only thing we're going to need now is maybe milk. I think we have everything else. If we run out of bread, I can make it. I've got 3 or 4 loaves in the freezer already. Okay, let's see, a little bit more. In there, a little bit more. I don't want to get too much out of the water. And I do have a lot left, but the amount that you see and the amount that we're actually going to have left when I'm done are 2 totally different things. So it's quite a difference. Once the cabbage ferments with the salt and the vinegar, makes quite a difference in the amount that you have left. So again, you want to have the water on top of the cabbage. You don't want to add too much, and all of these jars have plenty of water on the top. I think this whole jar needs a little bit more, but I'm just going to leave it. This one too. As the cabbage gets, it's hot water, so as the cabbage softens, of course, we're going to have lots more room in our jars. I think we're okay right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a towel or a piece of napkin and put vinegar on it so I can wipe my lid. You want to go around the lid or the rim. Whoops. Let's get all this off of here first. There we go. Okay, just like that. I'm going to wipe my rims. Check for any chips. These are brand new jars, so not likely to have chips, but you never know. I have bought jars before and they have been cracked. They get cracked in shipping sometimes, and I did have these shipped to me. I didn't go pick them up at the store. Okay. And then I'm going to put each lid on with the ring. I'm putting it finger tight, and I'm going to put it right into my canner. And I'm going to let it sit there for a few minutes to catch up with the heat that's already in my canner. Okay, can you guys see that? There you go. And this is how easy making sauerkraut is to can. There's lots of different ways, but this is one of the easiest ways. Now I did 6 jars to actually fill the canner. I could have done a couple more. It holds 8. Oops. But I think I'll just start with the 6 right now. And I'm going to let it sit here for a couple minutes, get acclimated to this, the heat, because the jars are not quite as hot as the water is. Let's show you what they look like in here. Okay, so we have that done. Now, let's see if I can move this just a bit and move everything out of the way. I'm going to show you the other way to make sauerkraut. So, this is what I have left. This bowl, let's see, can you guys see that? I got my new tripod, so I'm trying to work it, hopefully. I don't want it to fall. All right, hopefully it'll stay there like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put while my jars are heating up, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of sea salt in here. Okay. There we go. And I'm also going to put 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And then I'm going to wash my hands and show you what we do to make sauerkraut easy. Okay. Okay, sauerkraut the easy way. This is normally how I do my sauerkraut, just like this. So you have sauerkraut, you got your salt in there and everything. How are these doing? Let's see. I don't want to put them in the water yet because the water's very hot. I don't want them to bust open. Put the lid on them. Let them steam a bit. Let's put the light on so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, so got my clean hands. And all I'm going to do, and I know that you guys have seen me do this before, I'm just going to mix this up with my hands. And the salt actually brings out the juices and it breaks down. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I knew that was going to work. Okay. I kind of hit that a little bit. So, all right. So you're going to see just a little bit of it. But what you do is you use your hands like this, and it breaks down and gets all the juices out of the cabbage. Okay? And actually, the more you do this, the softer it gets. You can see all of that. You can put it in a jar after this. You can put it on your counter for a few days to ferment, or you can put it in the refrigerator. So when you're done with this, you can taste it. And what you'll actually be tasting is the sauerkraut, because you're essentially making sauerkraut with this. The longer you let it ferment is to taste. And the longer it ferments, the better it will be. But you see how that's all coming together? All the juices are coming in. So this is kind of what it's going to do in the jar, except it's going to have the water in it, and it's going to be awesome. But this, because I don't have any in my refrigerator right now, this is going to go in my refrigerator. Actually, it's going to go on the counter for a couple days and ferment before I put it in the refrigerator. Look at, can you guys see that? All of the juices come out. And the more you do this, the more the cabbage breaks down. And then you're going to have instant sauerkraut. So if I was to taste this right now, it would taste like sauerkraut, but it tastes not like the store-brand sauerkraut. This is going to taste like no sauerkraut you've ever had. Now see, once this, there was a lot here. There was a lot left over. And once you actually do this for a while and you break it all down, this will fit into probably a quart jar. I don't think I have any wide mouth quart jars. Or I can get it into 2 of my pint jars if I want to. But this bowl was half full, you guys. And look at that. That's sauerkraut. And that's all that there is to it. Very simple. Now at the bottom of the bowl, there's a lot of juice. I only put in a teaspoon of vinegar. There's a lot of juice in here. And it's going to taste awesome. So I might actually be able to get it into a pint jar, actually, when I'm all done with this. We'll see. The only things that are not breaking down are these big white pieces, the big strong pieces. You want to cut those up if you can. But the more you squeeze out and you break it down, the better the cabbage is, the sauerkraut's going to taste. And a lot of restaurants do it this way. So you get instant sauerkraut. So if I was making bratwurst or hot dogs tonight, I can actually use this tonight. Now, it wouldn't taste as good as after I let it ferment for a while. But it does taste really good. There you go. That's sauerkraut, guys. That's sauerkraut. The salt and the vinegar break it down so that you have an instant sauerkraut. And it might be a little bit, no, I think I can get into a pint jar actually. If I have a little bit left over, that's fine. Let me wash my hands. All right, we get a pint jar. And like this, let's see. Let's move this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I have my pint jar, and I'm just gonna pour it in here with my hand. I'm gonna pack it in so that I can get it all in there because it should pack in nicely. There might be a little bit left over. Probably should have used a quart jar, but this is enough. Get it all in there. Yep, it's all gonna fit. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's covered with the juice. So, all of that's done. Let's see if I can punch this down a little bit. You don't have to debubble this because this is not going into the canner. This is pretty well covered. And I'm also not going to leave an inch of headspace because this is not going in a canner, it's going in my refrigerator. So I'm going to try to get it all down in there, the sides of the jar, just to make room. I know it looks like I'm deep bubbling, but I'm really just trying to make room. And then all I'm going to do, you see that? There you go. That's sauerkraut. All I'm going to do is pour some of the leftover juices that are in here on the top. Okay, now you want to leave a little bit, and I'm going to put this on the counter with a very, very loose lid, and I'm going to let it ferment. Now, if I taste this, let's see if I can get a spoon, a fork even, show you guys. Okay, this is absolute sauerkraut. Really good. Really good. There is nothing like homemade sauerkraut, guys. So there you go. That's all you do. I am going to lower my jars now that they're steamed. Ready. I even have to put a little bit more water in there to cover them. You want to make sure that there's at least an inch or two of water above your jars. And then you're going to let it come to a boil. An inch or two above. I'm filling this with hot water. So there you go. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. Here is my jar right here of already made sauerkraut. Just needs to ferment for a few days, as many days as I want. And here are my jars in here that are going to come out, and I will show you guys when they're done what they look like. Okay, so I'm going to cover those, wait for them to come to a boil, and then I'm going to time them for 20 minutes. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Please hit that bell. The bell gives you first access to when you're notified when I upload videos. And please leave a thumbs up and a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. More coming.